If this video just showed up in your feed, you didn't search for it, you weren't looking for it, it just kind of appeared, then I need you to pay really close attention right now, because it's definitely not by coincidence that happened. See, the algorithm doesn't just randomly serve videos, it serves them to people it thinks needs them the most. And the fact that you're watching this right now tells me something very specific about where you are right now in your YouTube journey. You're close. You're not almost there, you're close. Genuinely on the edge of something. Genuinely close to hitting your first viral video. But here's something that nobody tells you that you actually need to know before you actually get there. Now in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 levers that actually determine whether your next video is gonna break 100,000 views plus, and why almost everything you're probably focusing on right now is almost 90% of the time just a distraction and doesn't actually move the needle forward. Now let me ask you something really quickly. First and foremost, why do you want 100,000 plus views on a video? Seriously, take 2 seconds and think about why. Because for most creators, if you're being honest, the answer sounds something like, I just want to grow, or I just want to, proof that what I'm doing is working. And that's fine, I get it. But that mindset of just making content and expecting it to pay you back, I call that creating with expected reciprocity. You make a video, you expect views don't come, so you kind of panic, get a little frustrated, you tweak the title, you watch 3 SEO tutorials, you add more tags, more keywords, and you spend 4 hours on the thumbnail trying to figure out why this video isn't working. And the video still ends up just not blowing up at all. And the reason why is because you're not focusing on what is actually happening. What's actually happening is you're not making videos you're genuinely excited about. You're making videos you think will perform. And YouTube can feel that difference because YouTube, or the algorithm, is just your audience, and they can feel that difference. The creators who are about to break like that 100,000 plus view marker, they aren't the ones who cracked the algorithm. They're the ones who stopped caring about cracking it. And I know this very well because I did the exact opposite and I paid the price for it. Early on in my journey, I was studying everything. What topics were trending, what titles were working, what thumbnails were getting the highest click-through rates. I was reverse engineering every successful creator in my niche and other niches that I possibly could, trying to figure out how to replicate that. And what ended up happening was I made videos that were just fine. They were competent, they were optimized, I guess, and they'd get maybe on a good day like 2,000 views. But the problem was they never blew up, and I couldn't figure out why, because I was doing everything quote unquote right based off what everybody was saying. And that was until I burned out completely. I just hit a wall flat out, and I was genuinely sick and tired of just making videos that I didn't care about just to try to make them go viral for viral's sake. I remember one time sitting at my desk just thinking like, I am so sick of this. I'm done copying people, echoing people. I'm done following that advice of literally just basically replicating somebody else's video entirely. I am going to just make the videos that I actually want to make. I'm going to say what I actually think. I just need to make sure that the idea is solid and the packaging is good. That's it. So that's what I did. I stopped echoing other people or mimicking. I stopped overthinking. Just here's what I believe. Here's my perspective. Here's why it matters. Here's the best way I know how to package it, etc. And those videos, the ones that I made when I stopped trying to game the systems and just leaned into my own perspective, my own intellectual property, well, one of them now has 500,000 views. Another one has almost 300,000 views, and another one sits around 180,000 views. The reason I'm telling you this is because there is a version of you right now spending hours and hours on the wrong things, the wrong inputs. And I want to save you that time. Now, here's the only framework that actually matters at the stage that you're likely at. And it's 3 levers and 3 levers only. The idea, the packaging, and the value in the video. That's it. That's the only focus points you need in order to make this absolutely explode for you. I know you've heard this before. I know you've heard the idea matters before, but just stick with me for a second because most creators are validating their ideas the wrong way entirely. See, the mistake is coming up with concepts based purely on what you want to make. I know I said that that's what I did, but I also had experience, so just hear me out. Because while that's important, that's just one input. But you need another input. The second input is what you're genuinely excited about and whether there's a real demand for that specific angle. Now, to make sure that I find ideas that I'm excited about and want to make and that also meet the market where they're at is a YouTube research tool called Velio. If you guys want, I'll drop the link in the description below. The reason it's really cool is because it basically shows you the outlier score of any video, which basically means how much of a similar format has outperformed that average. And then how it also tells you how saturated that video is already, meaning the competition. And like the creme de la creme, the best thing that you could find is a high outlier video with low competition. That's like a green light. And when that combination lines up with something you're actually fired up about to talk about, that's the sweet spot. That's where the videos live that blow up. Now, let me talk about packaging for a second, because that's the second lever. This is where I see creators leave the most views on the table out of every other lever of importance. Every niche on YouTube eventually starts to look the exact same. Same font styles, same background, same expressions in the thumbnails, and it just becomes more noise. And when everything looks identical, nothing gets clicked, and it makes it extremely hard to grow. So here's what I do differently. Contrarian to what most people will tell you, I actually go to Pinterest. I type in creative portraits, nothing to do with YouTube, but I'm looking for visual concepts that don't exist in my niche yet. Something that hits emotionally or that is visibly striking, that feels visually new, really visually creative. A while back, I found this image. It's a guy sitting in a chair, Gary Vaynerchuk, surrounded by like this cool spiral of words written in different sizes all around him. I thought it was the coolest photo ever, and I had not seen it in any YouTube video before. In fact, I went and researched using a couple of tools. This thumbnail concept did not exist on YouTube. Not one video had it. It was specifically optimized and posted on Pinterest. And I just had this gut feeling about it. Like I felt like it would just absolutely stop the scroll. So I took that, I recreated it as a thumbnail for one of my own videos. And the result was that video got 60,000 views in less than 2 weeks' time. That is the power of original packaging. It's not about making the best thumbnail by conventional standards. It's about making one that doesn't exist yet in your niche. Now I want to address something head on, because I know what some of you guys are probably thinking right now. You're probably thinking, okay, but what about, like SEO or keyword research? What about posting times, or what about tags? Those things all matter on a micro level. I'm not saying they don't matter or are completely irrelevant, but they are a micro optimization, meaning they move the needle like 1 degree. They don't move the needle 0 to 100. I mean, I spent a day at VaynerMedia with Gary Vaynerchuk when he flew me out to New York City. And you know what his team was focused on the most? They were focused on the idea, the packaging, and the value in the video. That's it. Not metadata, not hashtags, not what time to post on a Tuesday afternoon. They did think about those things, but they weren't optimizing for them as much as, or they weren't as much of a focus as those 3 levers: idea, packaging, and value. Those things came after. So if you have those 3 levers dialed in, everything else takes care of itself. If they're not dialed in, no amount of optimization is gonna save you or your video. Now, here's something that most people don't know at all yet, and it kind of changes everything. YouTube's rolled out a new AI system that reads the transcription of your videos, and then it goes and it compares that against every other video in your niche. And if what you're saying in your video basically echoes content that already exists, the same points, the same framing, same structure, all of that, the algorithm will basically suppress your video before it ever gets a chance to be seen. But if your transcription or what you're saying in the video is genuinely different, if you're bringing your own philosophy, your own stories, your own intellectual property, your own perspectives, YouTube rewards that now more than ever, because they're fighting a flood of AI slop, AI generated copy and paste content. An original human perspective is exactly what they need more of. So if someone has told you to study what's working and just copy it or echo that, that's an old strategy. Instead, you should study it to understand the demand, then come back and answer that demand with your own fingerprint, your own unique take, your own perspective, because your original thinking is not a disadvantage right now, it's the advantage. So right now, I'm gonna give you 3 questions. And if you can answer yes to all these questions, you are about to hit a video that's going to absolutely blow up, go viral, at least 100,000 plus views. Question 1 is, are you validating your ideas? Not just feeling good about them intuitively, actually checking the outlier scores, checking competition, and making sure there's real, demonstrated demand for that specific angle. The second question is your thumbnail genuinely different from anything else in your niche right now? Not just better, but different. And the third question is the content in your video your own original perspective, or are you mostly kind of just echoing or repackaging things that you've already heard elsewhere from a different video? If your answer is yes, yes, and yes to all 3 of those questions, you are super close to hitting your first 100,000 viewed plus video. Do not stop doing what you are doing. If you answered no to any of them, then that's where your energy and focus needs to go. not in the metadata, not in the posting schedule. Those 3 questions. But one more super quick thing before I send you off, because it's very important. To circle back to the beginning of this video, you need to get very clear on why you want these views, because views alone are not a business. Views that pull in the right audience, people you can eventually serve with an offer, that's a business. If the videos that you are making aren't aligned with what you eventually want to sell, then you are pouring water into a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom. So make sure that your content, your audience, and your offer are pulling in the same direction. That's when everything compounds and you can make a lot of money and get a lot of views on YouTube. If you guys want to actually accelerate this like exponentially faster, I'm talking about building a content-led business with YouTube and just mastering YouTube, the ideation, the idea validation, the packaging strategy, the offer alignment, everything, all of it, step by step. That's exactly what I teach you inside of the YouTube Blueprint. It's my paid community where I work directly with creators, building channels that don't just get views, but actually convert those views into real revenue. In fact, one of my students, Frank, he joined in the first week. He earned over $1,000 with his first client from YouTube, and his first video got over 20,000 views after being stuck under like 100 subscribers for over a year. Basically, TLDR, inside it is live weekly coaching from me. It is a pre-recorded curriculum, and you get access to a community of like-minded individuals. And the best part is you have 2 different tiers of which you can enter at 2 different price points, and I've made it extremely affordable and accessible. So if you guys want to check it out, the link is in the first description below. And if this video really did find you at the right time, use it. Don't let it be the video that you watched and forgot about. Let it be the one that changed what you do next. And I hope to see you guys inside the YouTube Blueprint. Peace.